Hi, this is Brad Straley with Jacksonville for Life. Today we have with us on the line Carol Wolff from St. Gerard Campus. Carol, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is a critical time of the year. So many people are saying, stop the abortions, but it's only word of mouth. It's not action. And we're a school of action. And what is happening is so many young people have no clue whatsoever what they're doing or what they're getting into when they get seriously involved in sex. And we find that we have to educate a whole year as to why they got pregnant, how they got pregnant, and what the circumstances are. Because we're working with minors, and we are the only school for minors in the area. And pregnancies.
What ages attend your campus?
Okay, our youngest one was 12, and our oldest one was 20. The only reason we took the 20-year-old is because she was in human trafficking, and she saw us online, and she only needed a senior year, and we said, we can help you. Her mother had sold her to human trafficking, and this was in Jacksonville. So, we're picking up the pieces for the whole area. And people have forgotten us as far as donations. So let me explain what our program consists of. We have a pregnancy testing area. And we noticed a big change in the number of pregnancy tests since the morning after pill has come around. So the teenagers need education ASAP is what it's all about. And so we have a pregnancy counseling area, a sonogram machine, and we do the pregnancy test, and it's a whole wing on the building, which our Bishop Galliona was vital in building that. And then the other part is the school, and it's a regular, fully accredited high school. And we make it fully accredited, which makes it very difficult for rules and regulations, which change every time we blink.
Wow.
And, yes, and we have a number of teachers volunteer and paid, but they have to be certified, fingerprinted, and trained. So this requires a whole lot of specialty. And the high school has 17 that will graduate this year.
That's great.
And they have all kept their feet to the goal. And they're working on their class song and things like that now, but they have to wrap up all their credits. And they only have 3 more weeks, and if they had a baby in between, they have to catch up because they have to have those credits on board in order to go to college. And in the high school, we also work in placement. We have the colleges visit us. We have our students visit the hospital in case they want to go into nursing or for their pregnancy. We have them visit all the different colleges around the area. We're talking to them. They're kind of overwhelmed, and I say kind of, they're overwhelmed. But even if we've had them for a year, it takes major training and build-up. So then across the walkway, when they reach 2 months, the babies have to stay in the classroom for the first 2 months because they haven't had their shots yet. So there's shots and WIC and baby checkup. Then we transfer them over to the nursery. Both these programs are free because these are for poor mothers and poor families. So the daycare is free, and we have 2 certified daycare people, and the daycare is also licensed. None of these programs are funded. They're just licensed. Then the other one is if they have no place to go and they're from Palm Coast or Jacksonville and they can't go back and forth and go to school, we have them in the dorm. It's a residential program, and the residential program, we can't have too many students at a time because the 2 house mothers have to take them to every single appointment for their checkups, explain to them where they are and what's going on in their bodies, help them with nutrition, help them to stay calm, help with communication to their family and things like that, so that when the baby's born, there's still open communication. There's still weekends that if they want to go home, and it's okay with their family. But a lot of the girls have single mothers that work and grandparents that are raising them. So this is where we make up the difference. So there's a dorm. Then we have also and it turns out to be the older mothers, an adoption program. When we do the pregnancy test, we can give them the option for adoption. And then we have an outreach, which is another entrance, and that's for the whole community for diapers, wipes, baby clothes, baby food, baby furniture, women's clothes. And the reason that's so important is because they in the community can't go to work with fabric diapers, so we get tons of diapers shipped in. And one of the biggest supporters of diapers is San Juan del Rio.
Great.
And we also have a thrift shop which tries to help us to stay afloat.
Right.
And the thrift shop is right behind us and nearby, and a lot of the things that are donated can go there. And we have a crew that is constantly in service there, selling things to help us stay afloat.
That is good. I don't want to, pass over all the things that you just said, because there's no place else in Northeast Florida that does the sonograms, talks about adoptions, has a licensed daycare, has accredited school, have kids from as young as 12.
And by the way, she graduated from Dean Shield University. I found her a biological father.
Wow. What made you think that you could do this, not alone it would be successful?
I did not think I could do this, and I don't to this day. But I walked into the Shrine Chapel, Our Lady of Fatima, when I first moved here, and I was a person who was brand new in this area, and I had northern clothes on, high heels and all the above. And I thought I was hot stuff, but I wasn't. I was nobody. But my husband and I came after we were in missions in South Dakota and in missions in Philadelphia under Blessed Sacrament Sisters. And I really did not want to do another program. And we had big youth ministry in our home. And I walked into Our Lady of La Leche, and Our Lady said, "You're going to be the protector of the little ones." And I said, "But I came for a job," because we had sold everything, my husband and I. So what happened is I went down the street and walked into the wrong place and got the wrong job, which was a much better job than I ever hoped for. It was a head secretary in a big company. I was going to be a florist again. But I had all kinds of computer experience and so forth. So I got this job, and eventually they told me about a battered teenager at work, and nobody was doing anything. And I threw a fit and took my car and went to the house, and the door opened, and the teenager was there crying. She said, "But he loves me. He takes care of me. My mother threw me out." And I said, "Well, here's my card, and here's my name. Come with me and I'll help you." No, he loves me. I said, "But love is not hitting you. We know you're crying. We know you're being hit." Next time I heard from her, she was in the hospital. He had swung a wide swing, broke the baby's jaw. So I came to the rescue. I left my job. I went to the hospital, and I had to plead her out of the situation. And I took her and the baby to a friend of mine in the church, in the cathedral, and they took her in as a mother to help with all the chores, and they had a great big house. They kept her for 2 years until she was able to get on her feet. In the meantime, I went to Catholic Charities, and they were just doing adoptions. I picked up 17 horrible cases the first day. I quit my job, and that was the beginning of St. Gerard Campus, 37 years ago. So now we have a science lab, a dorm, but we do not have any money this year. We are struggling to graduate our seniors. We need money like now.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you don't charge the young mothers while they're there. Am I correct?
They're poor. They're very poor. My salary is my own money that I loaned the program many years ago before my husband passed away. Mm-hmm. So that's my salary. I'm just getting paid back with my own money.
So if someone is listening and wants to donate, I'm stepping out there in your 501c3?
Yes.
Okay.
501c. We have CPAs that do our book work. We have an audit once a year. We're legal. We've blocked Planned Parenthood 3 times now because the kids have their ears to the ground. And they tell me when somebody's trying to sneak in, a doctor or mostly, certain doctors. So we have no Planned Parenthood in St. Augustine. We have no abortion clinic. And thanks to the Knights who helped me with that before when we had a great big meeting and invited Planned Parenthood and they didn't show up. The Knights blocked them. But that was from St. Gerard. And St. Gerard needs your help now. We are just a couple weeks away from graduation, and we have very little funding. So the P.O. Box 4382, St. Augustine, Florida, 32085 is where they need to send their donation.
Great. If they have a question, if they want to donate by credit card, Carol, how can they get in touch?
They just have to call.
Okay.
Just call, and we have a person in the office that does finances. She will record it. She will destroy the information, and there they go.
Great. And what's the number? I'm sorry, Carol.
829-5946.
That's 829-5946 to make a donation.
And by the way, here's something that I think a lot of women would like to know. We, in our pregnancy counseling room, do not use computers. Everything is written by hand, signed, sealed, and put in a file. No one can break into that file or touch it and get that information.
That is good. So you've been doing this for 37 years.
Yes.
Let me backtrack a second. How many young mothers can, through everything you're doing as far as the residential program?
With all the programs put together, some counseling over the phone, some in the outreach, some adoption, some in school, 33,000.
Wow.
There's pictures everywhere. There's no more walls. My closet has 19 fold-outs. I have albums. They're in a box under my desk. They're on the wall. They're everywhere.
33,000 mothers. How do you think, or women, how many babies do you think you've saved over the years, Carol?
Well, it would be the same number. No, half, because some of them are happy to have their baby. Cut that in half.
Great. How many can you house at a single time?
Okay, we house about 5 at a time. That's all you can house and take care of all their needs. And that takes 2 house mothers 24/7.
I can imagine.
Because they have to run them back and forth. They take them to the hospital. They wait for their significant parents to come. If there's a parent, they're in labor and delivery, and sometimes there's not. So it depends. That depends.
I want to ask, as far as the education, you're a young woman that comes in, a young girl, pregnant, most likely for the first time, doesn't have a family, doesn't have resources. How long does it usually take someone to get on their feet that can sustain themselves?
Maximum 2 years and minimum a year. And they can do 4 years and 2 years. It's an accelerated program, 24 credits. And we bring in all these specialties, such as Epic next door that works on drugs and alcohol, the bankers, the health department, the Lamaze teachers. So we bring in all these different professionals to teach them. and they have classes. We teach psychology, physiology, sociology, math, science, English, you name it. So when they leave there, they're well prepared.
That is good. So the young mother has her baby, she gets her degree, then what?
Well, hopefully we have worked out her future. So we start about January working on her future. Mm-hmm. Where she's going to live, what income she's going to have, what school will give her a grant. Is the man in her life a man? Is he going to man up or just be a vegetable?
Right.
And so many of them right now are vegetables, I'm sorry to say.
That is a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. We've been doing this for so long to get your arms around the fact that there's pregnant women that are homeless. What you talked about the human trafficking in Jacksonville. What other causes are there that's creating this?
They have no the education has fallen apart in America. They're not teaching morality in school. They're just teaching school. And they need to learn what is going to affect them physically, emotionally, spiritually. They just don't have it. When they come in, we test them, and academically, too, they're way behind. It shows up that they're in 11th grade, and then when we test them, they come up 3rd grade, 4th grade. The whole thing starts with the education programs.
Do you see any difference as far as public education compared to private schools or homeschooling? Or
homeschooling's the best. Even beats out Catholic school. Thank you.
Uh-oh. Well, we're in trouble now since we're on Catholic radio. Maybe we'll edit that out.
Really?
No, it's being facetious.
I'm known to shoot from the hip. What is.
That's why we always like having you on, Carol.
What isn't? I can't tell you a lie. They don't have any pro-life clubs in the schools now. And those clubs were set aside, and they would expand throughout the school. Pro-life clubs don't exist. Now we have this seamless garment. Lovely. It's another way of just covering up abortion. Sorry.
Yeah, and we have Planned Parenthoods in the public schools.
I'm involved in all this mess. I have never seen it so bad, and we need to pray, and send the money, please, please, please.
Again, if someone's listening, we're speaking with Carol Wolff at the St. Gerard Campus. If you are willing and able to make a donation, please make the check payable to St. Gerard Campus, Post Office Box 4382, St. Augustine, Florida 32085. If you'd like to make a donation by credit card, please call 904-829-5946. Carol, I get the drive-by often on US 1. How did you come by the campus there?
Okay, that was another miracle. I hated that property. My husband was in real estate, and my husband and the chairman of the board, who was also the director of the health department. He was the chairman of our board and our director because I was known as the poison pen in the newspaper, and he wanted me on his side. So anyway, they showed me this piece of property because of zoning, and it had the right zoning, and it was a piece of junk, and it was owned by Tri-County Mental Health. It was a mess. The electric was stapled on outside. The place was a trash bin, and they went bankrupt because they put all their pays into their staff. So they went bankrupt, and we had a meeting with them to look at this property. My husband found it when he was praying and riding around as a realtor. So the doctor said, you've got to take this property. You need zoning. Because we got zoned out of St. Augustine. We were known as the Scarlet Letter in the 80s. Being pregnant was the Scarlet Letter. Anyway, way back then. So as it turned out, they kind of forced my hand on that piece of paper, and the person came out from their board and said, my husband said, bid on option to buy for a year, and we'll pay their mortgage bill for a year so they don't go bankrupt. And we did, and it was $2,000 a month back then, and that was a lot, plus running the program on King and Iberia. So it came to the time for the purchase of the property, and there was a priest at the cathedral, and he helped me do a $100,000 grant. 15 days before the settlement, which we took a big risk, they called me from a foundation and said, you have the $100,000 grant. So miraculously, we made the settlement, and the property became ours. We have put $1 million into that property since then. All the electric had to be redone, and they got through all these regulations, whereas, we had to come up to par with everything. In order to open, we had to spend another grant, which was $65,000 right in the beginning, just to open the doors with the small part of it. And since then, we've added 7 different additions and rooms and renovated kitchens and the dorm and carpeted, air conditioning, fire alarm systems, fire windows, you name it.
I can imagine. I apologize we weren't able to have one of your residents with you. Is there any, what I like to call success story that you'd like to share with us in the last few minutes?
Yes. I had a little girl who couldn't even sort her clean clothes from her dirty clothes. I laid in her bedroom with her the first week because her parents got separated, and she was in shock and trauma. She was from a Catholic school, by the way, but that has nothing to do with it. It was her own emotions, and she was in shock. These were wonderful people, but something happened along the way, and they got a divorce, and she ended up with us. And sorting her laundry that day, she was crying. She couldn't think, so I stayed with her, and then the house mothers took over and gave her a lot of attention and love and affection. She was very smart. She graduated. She's now a lawyer in New Jersey. She's married and has 4 children.
Wow.
Another one came to me from Gainesville University, and I thought she was going to bring some nurses in, but it was just her. She said, I want to show you something. I said, what's that? She said, my certificate from your high school, and you kept saying, you can do it, you can do it. And she said, and my BA, and she said, and my master's. And she said, I'm the head OB nurse at Gainesville University. So she takes all of the nursing program on a grant at Gainesville. I put her on my board, but it's too long of a drive for her to be on the board and still, keep her job.
Sure. Just that alone is such a great story to hear that,
That's
not
2
only,
of them.
There's a need for this. You guys can provide assistance in the service, and at this time you guys are needing donations to keep it going.
Yes, we're very, very tight. And I have to say, Home Again St. Augustine was trying to put showers within 150 feet of us, and the Salvation Army behind us, and we said, you can't. That's the wrong zoning. And it's made it very uncomfortable. But we just can't let that group come. I have great compassion for the homeless, but they need to do another location.
Right. That's not a pristine location, considering...
It's not an option.
Oh. Well, we will keep you guys in our prayers. Carol, thanks so much for taking your time, as always, to be with us. We always appreciate it. And thank you so much for what you do to promote a culture of life in Northeast Florida. We are out of time. Thanks
God
again.
bless you, and thank you for having me on.
Oh, it is our pleasure.
And please, everyone, pray for us. We're in a critical situation. Thank you.
We most certainly will. We'd like to thank Queen of Peace Radio for being faithful to his word in this opportunity, and thank you for listening today. For more information about local pro-life efforts, please visit us at jacksonvilleforlife.org. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, do something, say babies in Jacksonville. God bless.